New record for minimum Antarctic sea ice extent. This month of February 2022, the ice that floats on the sea and that surrounds Antarctica, reached a record for the smallest surface area due to melting. Information on sea ice extent dates back to 1979 when it began to be recorded with the help of satellite detection. Since then, extent as low as that existing this year 2022 had never been recorded, where its value is less than 2 million square kilometers, which is equivalent to having melted about 800,000 square kilometers more of ice the summer of 2022, with respect to the average of the period 1981 to 2010. This area of below average melting is larger than the land area of many entire countries, such as France or Spain. The extraordinary melting reached during the month of February 2022, which corresponds to the summer of the Southern Hemisphere, was mainly due to the combination of three factors. 1. The presence of wind flows that carried air towards the South Pole, coming from marine and continental regions contiguous to South America, Southern Africa, and Oceania. This less cold air melts the ice from above. 2. Less cold ocean currents that reached the Antarctic area and aided, from below, the melting of the sea ice that floats above them. 3. The effect of solar radiation when finding less sea ice, and most of it is no longer reflected back into space by the white surface ice, being instead absorbed by the sea, having the consequence of heating ocean water and melting more ice, in a feedback effect. Remember that during the summer months at the South Pole, solar radiation is present 24 hours a day. A fraction of the melted sea ice occurred contiguous to the coastal areas of Antarctica that worked as a support for part of the weight of different glaciers or ice rivers, which reach the sea from the continent. This situation is destabilizing the balance of the weight of large masses of ice that are contiguous to the sea in Antarctica. In December of 2021, scientists from several countries reported during the American Geophysical Union meeting, that the Thwaites Glacier, nicknamed the Doomsday Glacier, could fall into the sea or collapse in as little as 5 years, if melt and destabilization caused by ocean waters continues at its lower end. If the collapse of this glacier occurs, it would result in an increase in sea level throughout the world. Towards the month of March and with the approach of the autumn months in the southern hemisphere, temperatures in the Antarctic area begin to drop and, with this, melting will stop and the presence of sea ice will gradually increase, which is part of an annual cycle of melting and ice formation. While the ice at the South Pole will tend to have a partial recovery, the melting of the ice at the North Pole will now begin, which is also below its historical average. The ice found on our planet plays a fundamental role in the climate system in general, and the extraordinary melting that is happening has global effects. To conclude, here are some effects of climate change in the world. Increase in air temperature at all atmospheric levels, from the surface to the upper part of the atmosphere. Increase in the temperature of the oceanic water, which begins in its surface and gradually migrates towards deeper zones. Melting of ancient ice, both ice floating on the sea in the Arctic and Antarctica, as well as the Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets, and also glaciers in mountain areas, such as the Himalayas, Alps, and Andes. Increase in the energy brought by the storms that occur throughout the world, causing more intense winds and, in marine areas, higher waves. More extreme hot waves that produce the evaporation of water from rivers and lakes, as well as the evaporation of moisture contained in the soil and vegetation, causing greater susceptibility to fire in different types of ecosystems, such as forests and grasslands. In rainy areas, more extreme precipitation because of the greater amount of water vapor in the air, due to excess evaporation. For more information on sea ice coverage, you can consult the website of the National Snow and Ice Data Center of the United States of America, or NSIDC, for its acronym. Thanks for watching. If this video was interesting to you, leave your like. For regular updates on weather, climate, and science topics around the world, subscribe to this channel. See you soon.